Welcome back to the Knock-On Effect, the rugby show where we say what the pundits won't. The URC is back, and what a round of rugby it was. We were treated to some cracking matches. In today's video, we'll discuss Leinster's first loss of the season, Munster's close defeat to Glasgow, and answer the question, are the IRFU player welfare rules becoming a problem? Let's get stuck in. Kicking things off, let's take a look at the Leinster match. It was a closely fought affair in Loftus. The Bulls came out on top with the final score 21-20. This was always going to be a tough match for Leinster with the internationals being rested, but being able to start two World Cup finalists in RG Snyman and Jordy Barrett can't be underestimated. These are the exact matches where Leinster have come up short in recent years. The Bulls, however, don't look to be the same threat without Kurtley Arnsa, especially with the absence of young winger Caden Moody as well. They looked much less threatening. In part, this can also be put down to Leinster's defence, but I still think they'll be a bit disappointed with their attacking accuracy here. Ross Byrne thought he'd stolen the win, putting the boys in blue ahead with 2 minutes left to play. The Bulls pack came up clutch with a scrum penalty against the head in the dying seconds. It all came down to 26-year-old utility back David Creel. More often than not, he's found himself in the centre this season, but the kicking duties were handed to him with the clock in red. The last time Leinster lost a URC match was also against the Bulls in last year's semi-final. This match had it all. Yellow cards, red cards, hard-fought battles, kicks to win with some fucking match. Next, we'll have a look at Munster versus Glasgow. Both teams would have been extremely disappointed with their last outings. Munster put in a poor performance against Edinburgh, and Glasgow lost a rare home match against the Ospreys. The Munster squad was heavily rotated, and I'll be honest, I feared the worst heading into this one, but by God did we turn up. From the get-go, you could tell this was going to be a much better performance from both teams. Glasgow proved their class in the end with a 28-25 win. From a Munster perspective, I thought it was a fantastic effort. Is there such a thing as a good loss? I thought both Paddy Patterson and Tony Butler had their best games in a red jersey this season. Sean O'Brien was brilliant, and debutant Andrew Smith proved a solid option. It's great to see Jeremy Loughlin back from injury. Both Coombs and Hodnett were stellar as usual, and all in all, while I was disappointed we didn't come away with more points, it was exactly the response that Ian Costello had promised. As for the Warriors, I thought the Six Nations did Stafford McDowell a world of good. He looked incredibly sharp. Kyle Steyn was lethal, and had Duncan Weir made a few more touchline kicks, they arguably could have pulled away more towards the end. Another great matchup nonetheless. Elsewhere, Cardiff beat the Lions 2017 to prove their stellar season is far from a fluke. The Italian clubs continue to impress, with Benetton beating Edinburgh and Zebre losing by only a point away to the Sharks. The Stormers beat the Scarlets well, while the Dragons failed to win at home against the Ulster men. Finally, the Ospreys stuck out a close win against Connacht in an utterly ridiculous match, ending 43-40. There was calls at the end of that match that the Ospreys illegally had hands in the ruck with the clock in red. The ref was having none of it, but it's a pet peeve of mine. I didn't think there was much in it, to be honest, but the TMO should be able to have a look despite the ref blowing for the final whistle. Just a thought. Which brings us to the question of the day. Are the IRFU player welfare rules becoming a problem? There was plenty of players missing from action this week, despite not playing a part in the Six Nations. The likes of Cian Prendergast, Ben Murphy, Calvin Nash, Conor Murray, Cormac Izuchukwu, and even the likes of Ryan Baird either didn't feature heavily or at all for Ireland. All 4 provincial matches ended with less than a try in the difference. We have 5 rounds left until the knockout stages. Every point counts. If players such as Stafford McDowell can feature for the Warriors, what's wrong with Cian Prendergast returning to Connacht? The IRFU's player welfare rules are supposed to be in place to ensure that players aren't burnt out or injured when they receive Ireland's call. But I'm finding that time after time they are disrupting provincial duties. There was extremely close margins this round, and I feel like we should have used every advantage available to us. Have your say in the comments below. As always, cheers for watching, catch you at the next one.